Every Saturday night, we have incredible guests coming into Saturday Night Show from sports legends.
This is Patrick Njiro with John Karani, JK on Saturday Night Show.
Media icons.
Hi, this is Mado, M-A-D-D, Mad with a double D, with John Karani, JK on KBC English Service.
Music and entertainment.
Pili Pili aka Masala aka Mr. Ho Ho on Saturday Night Show SNS Pili Pili.
This is John Katana of the Mushrooms on Saturday Night Show SNS with my namesake JK.
Don't miss the next exciting name to drop by on Saturday Night Show SNS with John Karani. Saturday from 8:30 p.m. #SNS KBC. SNS Guest of the Week. Guest of the Week. SNS on KBC English Service.
Welcome to Saturday Night Show SNS right here on KBC English Service. And tonight, as I told you, tuko na Nameless mwenyewe ndani ya nyumba. He is our guest on Saturday Night Show SNS. Karibu sana Nameless.
Ndani ya studio.
Welcome to Saturday Night Show. Well, it's been years, eh?
It's been years, man.
Kitambo sana, eh?
When I got your call, I was very excited. I was like, Karang, man.
Yes.
So
it's been a long journey.
Here. Yeah, it's been a long journey.
Okay.
And it's always good to see guys who you started with.
Definitely.
Journey. Yeah, man.
So maybe you could start by telling us, first of all, the name Nameless.
Yes.
I mean, mtu ambaye hana jina.
Yes. Where is that from?
Where did that come from, Nameless?
Yo, it's interesting. It was approximately 20, almost 21 years now. I was interested in music, but kusema kweli, I was, let's say, insecure about it. I wasn't too sure that I'm a good artist or I can, and slightly shy about it. But one day I had a competition on air.
Yes.
And I was working night shift job. Kama vile sasa on the night shift.
On the night show.
I used to work in a bank, yani over the night.
Yes.
And there was a station that had a competition, radio station kama hii tu.
Yes.
And they were saying, if you think you can rap or sing, call in and we'll see kama we ni mnoma. So you can imagine now mimi nakaa hivi nasema, can I really do this? And I was doubting myself. So I was working with my friend, just two of us. We were putting data in the bank accounts.
Yes.
So I secretly stepped out of the office and went to another office.
Asione nini unafanya?
Asione juu mimi I'm a bit shy.
Yes.
Labda atanichekelea akisema sasa unajaribu kuimba nini wewe? So nikaenda kwa the next office na nikatumia simu ya ofisi, nikapiga simu, nikapigia station. Nikamwambia I think I can rap. Kusema okay, piga rap. So they gave me a beat and I started flowing pole tu pa. Alafu nikamaliza wakaniambia, wow, that's nice, what's your name?
Hapo sasa.
Sasa hapa nikasema sasa nitajiita nani hapa, because nilikuwa chini ya maji.
Yes.
Nilikuwa najua nikisema jina yangu ya ukweli David Madhenge,
kila mtu hapo atajua.
Hata mdosi wangu ambaye atakuwa nasikia sasema badala kufanya kazi
alikuwa na rap usiku.
Unatumia bidhaa za kampuni kufanya vitu zako. So just by chance I just popped up and said Nameless. And the presenter asked, Nameless? Then she said, I like the name Nameless. Hata mimi kwa roho yangu I'm like, even me I like that. So nikarudi kwa the office where I was working with my friend Newton akaniambia, Buddha, when you went to the toilet kuna mtu mwingine amerap.
He does not know it's you.
Anijui ni mimi. So me ninamsikia hivi napata more confidence. What do you think? That guy is cool, man. Yako na good vibes. So nikapata
motisha.
So the next day was now the finals because I won that round.
Yes.
So when we are there nikasikia tu tena, unajua, now is the finals. Tena mimi peke yangu nikaenda hapo nikapiga tena. Nikafanya my try again. Nilipomaliza I came back to the office. Newton akaniambia, every time you go to the toilet
somebody
sings. Yani unamhata kila saa. So it's not connecting that it's me who's
It's you,
always doing
eh.
it. Yeah. So I won the competition.
Wow.
I got to record with, at that time, the biggest Afro pop, I'd say urban pop producer. That was Ted Josiah.
Yes, Ted
I
Josiah,
could not even
actually.
imagine that I can even be in the same room with Ted at that time. So that's when I went I went and met him on Saturday. And then he gave me advice on how I can finish the song. And that's how Mega Rider.
So that was
born.
Mega Rider now.
So yes, I came up with the chorus Mega Rider. I wrote the story, which was about a campus student. That time I was a campus student.
Yes.
Working night shift, but doing school during the day. And my friend, basically, that was when I was born. So so I recorded it on Sunday.
Yes.
Wahoo was still my girlfriend at that time.
Na mmetoka mbali.
Tumetoka mbali, nikuambia huyo nimeanzia hata kabla you Nameless ulianza kutusumbua.
Tutafika hapo.
So she even did the backups.
Yes.
She came to join me in the studio on Sunday. We recorded Monday when the song was being launched on the station. When they said, hey, by the way, the winner of last week's challenge, we're about to play his song. My friend told me, don't leave now. You keep leaving when this guy is on air. So let us hear him together. So he did. It was me who was now rapped. And for me, it was the first time I was going to hear myself being introduced as Nameless.
As Nameless. That was a wonderful moment for you,
That was the most priceless moment because it started a journey for me that I had not even prepared for.
And most people actually don't know, like me, actually. Yeah. I even didn't know you were a banker.
No, okay, let me tell you how it was. I was in campus,
yes,
of course, studying architecture. But you know how vile unatafuta
attachment kidogo hivi.
Yeah, yani kitu
ya kushikilia.
Yeah. So night shift, I would finish my classes by 3.
Yes.
Start going walk to the bank that was all the way in Upper Hill. Start working from 4 until 12. So that was my night shift job. Go back to the sleep from 1 to 7 and then go back to campus.
Okay, it's Saturday Night Show SNS with me John Karani JK na tuko na Nameless hapa. Mmesikia vile Mega Rider was born. Alikuwa naenda anajificha kwa choo alipokuwa akifanya night shift huko kwa bank na rap kidogo. Finally akashinda competition. Akaenda akarecord na Ted Josiah. Mega Rider.
Mega Rider was born.
This is SNS Saturday Night Show with John Karani JK
on KBC English Service.
SNS Guest of the Week. Guest of the Week. SNS
on KBC English Service.
Welcome to Saturday Night Show SNS. Tuko na Nameless mwenyewe ndani ya nyumba. He is our guest on Saturday Night Show SNS. Nameless sasa yani Mega Rider ndio hiyo. The success has started opening. Doors have started opening. Umefanya na Josiah. So now, did you continue working with Josiah? Because now there is a production team of Ogopa DJs.
Yes.
How did you now move from Ted Josiah to Ogopa DJs and how did it come about?
Wow. Yeah, so Ted, of course, at that time was the biggest producer in terms of urban pop. So I was very lucky that I got that break. And my career started. Can you imagine? I didn't know what's my brand going to be. So I created this Zorro kind of looking guy.
Yes.
The kabuti with a big, unajua vile Undertaker na kanga.
Exactly, I remember.
I used to perform with this big Stetson and a kabuti.
Yes.
And a mask. So I was also faceless. So people didn't even know who this Nameless
is. It took time for people actually to know you are the one.
Yeah. For about 2 years, people didn't, even in campus, didn't know the same guy, you know. And for me, it was good because I'm an introvert in real sense.
Yes.
So I didn't want too much attention on me.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to push over my thing. So kusema kweli, as I started learning the industry, I started hearing about this. Kwa Ted, he had Gidi Gidi Maji Maji.
Yeah, Gidi Gidi Maji Maji, yes.
He had big artists. He had Gidi Gidi, he had Darling P.
Even Darling P, yeah.
Darling
P was, you even talked about you when he came here for interview.
Yeah. So those were the big guys. So sisi tulikuwa sasa weka hapo kwanza goja. So me, I was frustrated for 1 year or 2 years. I'm not getting another track from there.
Yes.
But then at the same time, there was a new production company called Ogopa DJs that I was hearing their sound, and I'm like,
I like this
sound. It has energy in a different way, and I looked for that guy. So when I met him, he was called Lucas. He's still
Lucas,
called Lucas.
Yes.
When I met Lucas, I introduced myself and said, I think I want to work with you guys. and Lucas Lucas akasema when ndio Nameless, when ndio Nameless,
Yes.
mimi ndio Nameless. Okay, sawa, kuja ufanye kazi na mimi. So we did the first song I did with him was Majitu.
Majitu, yes.
Yeah, so Majitu, when we released Majitu, that's the time now Githurai guys were there. Yo,
wase tumetoka Githurai.
Yeah, the original, not
Yes.
the remix with Mr. Lenny.
Yes.
So when I did Majitu, to be very frank, haiku hit sana. But I started now learning the market and said, okay, how can I do music that the market will enjoy?
Yes.
So that's when I did that's when I did Mannerless.
Mannerless, and that one exploded, eh?
Yes, Mannerless. Now I started understanding that my brand, I wanted to be the kind that just give guys fun music.
Yes.
Music that makes them just forget about their problems.
Yes.
And even Ogopa, that was our philosophy. Make music that inafanya watu wasahau.
Basically, it's a fun
Kind
thing.
of
You
still.
go out and party.
Let's be mannerless.
Yes, exactly.
So hapo ndio nikaanza kuelewa the market. So that's how I moved from Tejosaya to
Okay, now that you released Mannerless with Ogopa DJs,
Yeah.
it's Saturday Night Show SNS
Yeah.
with none other than Nameless
Yeah.
katika studio ya Saturday Night Show live.
Great mix of music on SNS Saturday Night Show.
On KBC English Service.